Hey guys, it's Melvin7 here, and today I'm hosting the United View. There's no Ben and there's no Tom because they're both busy, so I'm afraid you stuck with me. But to make up with that, we've got some fantastic panelists on the show today. So yeah, we'll start with introductions, I suppose. So yeah, Sati, introduce yourself.
I'm Sati. I'm a United man on Twitter. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And yeah, now we've got Joey from the United States.
How you guys doing?
Short and sweet. And now we've got John, who I don't think's been on for a while, but yeah, we're happy to have him.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Great to be back. Thank you for having me on.
And finally, we've got Pasha, who unfortunately is joining us today. Now, we all love you, Pasha, really. Let's introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me on. As always, putting the rating as last. You know, some races and things never finish. So yeah, glad to be talking about United today.
Sanctions.
No problem. So yeah, now we've got that out of the way, we get into the nitty gritty, and it's not good this week, really, is it? So yeah, I want to start with like a very obvious question, but it'll be hard to answer because I'm not really sure myself. But we're going to start with you, Sati. What do you think went wrong today? Do you think it was a mentality problem, a confidence issue? Was it just we just went up to scratch? Like, what do you think went wrong today?
Today it was just one of them days. I think you can't get really that disappointed. Yes, we lost 3-0. That's the end of the day. If you lose 3-0 against Everton, you have to be disappointed. But the first half, I thought we were the much better team. We just to go into half time and be losing 2-0 when you've dominated the game. I think it was like 60% possession. Yeah, possession doesn't count, but when you've been dominating for that much, it's gonna kill the players. It genuinely is. The confidence would be down when they come out for second half. It must be killing them to be 2-0 down, especially when you've been that good. And the possession was actually good. The football was slightly sideways and backwards, but I thought Louis van Gaal with the team selection and everything today. You can't really blame the team selection. People were blaming it on Twitter. I just thought, well, that team has been performing well since that Chelsea defeat, and it was thrashing City, Liverpool, Tottenham. Against them, you expected the same team, but I just thought maybe it was a miss of Michael Carrick. I thought that was probably the biggest issue today because, when we've had him in the squad, we've probably won most of the games, and we've genuinely had a better pass accuracy, and the defensive-wise, he's always been there, passing it forward. I thought Daley Blind was a bit passing it sideways, but yet again, you can't really fault the players. They genuinely played better, just they got unlucky and got counter-attacked.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think we did play well. I do believe that we lacked a little bit of penetration going forward. We did create chances, but we didn't take them ultimately, and I think that's what cost us. But yeah, we'll move over to you, Joey. So yeah, do you agree with that, or do you think there's more to it?
No, I mean, look, we went there and they just lined up, 10 men behind the ball, stuck Gareth Barry on Marouane Fellaini. They got in Fellaini's head early. They were nudging him around, pulling at him. He did make some stupid challenges, but I thought the ref was a little bit unfair towards Fellaini. Gareth Barry had 3 or 4 fouls, and I don't think he saw a yellow card, whereas Fellaini had one, and he deserved one 12 minutes in. So I think it's always going to be tough, and I just think we lack that little bit of creativity that we need. I just think there wasn't enough pace in the side in the starting 11. I still think Di Maria should be playing centrally. I don't think when he came on, I would have brought him on way earlier, and I would have put him in Fellaini's spot instead of bringing Falcao on. I have no confidence in Falcao whatsoever. First off, we don't create enough chances for him, and second off, he hasn't shown that he's going to even convert the chances if they do come. So I'm more in for bringing Di Maria in centrally. But like I said, look. There's 4 games left. They're all winnable. Arsenal's will be tough, but winnable. We just got to we have to move on from this. We can't dwell on it for too long. We'll get into more about it later, but I think it's just one of those days where we just didn't have it. They got the goals and we didn't. So I mean, that's all you can really say.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. Like, ultimately, obviously, it's the score that matters, and we just didn't score, and Everton scored 3 goals. So, yeah, we'll move on to you, John. Do you agree with that? Do you think it was just because we couldn't finish, really, or, again, do you think there's more to it?
No, I think Joey covered it all, basically. Everton literally lined up with 10 men behind the ball. But, yeah, I mean, credit's given where credit's due. They were very compact, very structured, very organized. They had the right men. I think it was Phil Neville. He was discussing how the 3 midfield in the Everton's lineup were just straight locking up our midfield, and we absolutely had nothing when it came to the final third. And Goodison is a slightly more narrower pitch, so you're looking at a more centrally minded offense when we're looking at it. Although our left-hand side, I thought, gave a lot more in terms of the offensive wing play, dropping in crosses. I thought Mata could have played slightly more outside. He tried to cut in a little too much, but that kind of gave it a little more of a crowded final third, let's say. But, I think more so than ever, I think Everton really came out and did their job. They hit us on the counter. We really could not come up with anything.
Yeah, exactly. We couldn't come up with anything, and I agree with your point on Mata there. But yeah, we'll probably get onto that a bit later on in the show. So yeah, we'll finish off with Pasha's thoughts on what went wrong against Everton. Do you agree with everyone else, or again, do you think there's something else?
Yeah, of course. I mean, even after the game, LG said that there was not enough. Him and Giggsy tried to address the firepower. The players seem uninterested at first. It might have been a psychological issue after losing that game that we should have, taken points off of Chelsea. But once again, it's just one of those games that is hard to, we've had that so many under Sir Alex Ferguson. It was just one of those games. Even Goodison Park has been a curse for us, as Selhurst Park has been for Liverpool these past couple of years. It was just one of those games. And once again, when Daley Blind comes back from an injury and you want him to play in the center holding midfielder role to dictate the game, the amount of people abusing the guy, just not realizing this guy just came back from an injury, away at home, trying to play against, go to some people that have basically 10 people, around the box area. It's just one of those games that it's hard to describe because not one of our players single-handedly, in my opinion, were god-awful, It was just one of those games. And, Goodison, whenever we play Goodison Park, Everton at Goodison Park, we've not been getting results. When we go there, we felt shaky. Rooney, once again, atrocious playing against his former club, which is a curse for him over there, too. It's so hard to describe. But the thing that I think it was even Louis van Gaal said it was that there was not enough firepower for the players. And he tried to address that before the match started, but that got to him. But once again, when we lost against Arsenal, people were like, "Oh shoot!" And now how will their confidence be against when we're gonna play Tottenham? We battered Tottenham, So I'm not too worried. It was just one of those games, to be honest. And we just gotta move on. Right now I've seen people freaking out again. And it's I think the football world has become so stupid and deluded. Because not to mention, you gotta think about who's Liverpool plays. Liverpool plays against away Holloway. They got Chelsea too. It's in our hands. We don't have to rely on anybody else. It was just one of those games, and we just move on. But the best thing is it's a wake-up call. I see it as a positive because if it wasn't a wake-up call end of the season, we messed up. It would have been too late to get top 4. So this is a big wake-up call for the players, and they know they have to finish on strong. We got four more games remaining. We're gonna grind it out. So there's no panicking. So just one step at a time, and it was just one of those games that unfortunately Goodison Park has been tough for us to play at, and we just gotta move on.
Yeah, I actually agree with what you said. This might be something we need. I said that in my review on my channel as well, because generally it just seemed as though the players were getting a little bit too complacent, especially the fans as well. But yeah, to go back to a point about Blind, yeah, I agree again that he just came back from injury, so yeah, he's obviously not going to be 100%. But in the comment section, we've got a lot of comments here on about Carrick, and yeah, if he's our main player, and that's actually our next topic. So yeah, to touch on what Sati said before about Carrick, do you generally believe, Sati, that Carrick is our most important player ahead of people like David De Gea, Wayne Rooney, Angel Di Maria? Do you think he is what makes us tick?
Yeah, looking at it now, thinking, not long ago I wasn't thinking Carrick was that much of a big hit because he wasn't injured and he wasn't having a consistent run of games and he wasn't having that much of a good form as he is now. And he's just been an absolute massive blow. And to see our team falling around the midfield, the midfield hasn't been as strong as he has since when he's come in there. And I just think maybe if Carrick was fit today and against Chelsea, we could have possibly came away with all 3 points against Chelsea and Everton. But Carrick has been a massive blow, and David De Gea, Wayne Rooney, they can all be quality players, and they are big names for us, and they are big players, but Carrick is just as important. I just feel, looking back on it now, a couple of months down the line, I would have probably said no, But looking back on it now, when we haven't got, there's talk of Ilkay Gundogan coming in, but looking at it now, Carrick is massive blow, and when he isn't playing, there's no actual, Daily Blind, as Pasha and Joe just said it, he's come back from injury, so it's going to be hard for him to get his form back how he was before. And when Carrick was there, he was always passing forward, always looking into Rooney, Herrera, Fellaini. That's what it was, and that's what I thought. He did that excellently against Man City and Liverpool and Spurs. He dissected their midfield easily. Everyone's talking about how well Fellaini, Mata played in the last couple of games, but everyone's forgetting about Carrick a bit, especially on the media. I just think everyone's underrating Carrick a lot, and he's just absolutely been amazing. His passing's always forward. He's never looking back. He's always trying to play the positive route, and that's what I think United is needing right now at this moment, because positive route is what's going to get us goals, and I thought today we were lacking a lot of that.
Yeah, definitely with Carrick. Yeah, I think he is exactly what our midfield was missing in these 2 games that we did lose. And again, a lot of the comments seem to agree. Like, they seem to think that Carrick is a major part of our team, and he definitely is. So yeah, Joey, do you agree? Like, do you think that Carrick is as big as what most fans seem to think he is? Like, is he that important to our team?
Well, I mean, I could say one thing, and then you could just throw results in my face this season, because our winning percentage when he's in the team is, 30, 40% better. So, yeah, Carrick does mean a whole lot to this team. But you know what it means? You know what Carrick brings that other players don't have is experience. Daley Blind, he's had, less than 30 Premier League games, less than 20 Premier League games. Michael Carrick brings in years of knowledge. And sometimes you need that knowledge and that experience to break down an Everton side. Michael Carrick does the simple things, but he does them very well. He links defense with attack. He keeps everything organized. He's very vocal. That's something Blind can grow into. I see people saying, "Oh, Blind can't replace Carrick. He doesn't have the pace." When was Michael Carrick doesn't have pace? Michael Carrick isn't fucking, setting the world on fire. He's not a track star. It's all about positioning. And Daley Blind will learn that position over time. Daley Blind's got a great footballing brain. You want to talk about getting caught out of pace. When he was at left back, people were worried about it, and he showed that he could play left back against some of the fastest players in this league. So I don't buy into this whole Blind can't replace Carrick thing. Michael Carrick is huge for our team. But at the same time, he could have played, and we still could have lost today, because I don't think we did it as a team today. I think that there was, like Pash was saying, just the players didn't look uninterested. They looked like they were hanging their heads low. So, yeah, look, Michael Carrick is huge. And more so these last 2 games with him out, what it is it's a huge wake-up call that we don't have a great squad. We have a good starting 11 with different combinations and a couple nice pieces to come off the bench, but overall the squad isn't there. And that's going to be addressed in the summer. Ilkay Gundogan, I'm not his biggest fan. We'll see what he can do. The guy's coming off a major back injury, and he's doing well in the Bundesliga. That's the Bundesliga. We're talking about the Premier League, where he's going to face a physical challenge almost every single game. So I think Michael Carrick, I hope he comes back soon, because, West Brom are going to do the same thing. They're going to sit there, and they're going to put 2 banks of 4, and they're going to try and hit us on the break with Berahino. But yeah, I think more it's a wake-up call that we need to find a real replacement for Michael Carrick, or bring in a couple other midfielders. So, but yeah, Michael Carrick is as important as any player. You need 11 players to win a game sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, your points were pretty good there. I think people are underestimating Blind because it is his first season, and yeah, people are expecting so much because earlier in the season he was fantastic and he was playing in that CDM role, but again, he just needs experience. I agree wholeheartedly with that. So we'll come over to you, John. Do you agree with Carrick being a very important player, and do you think that Blind can take Carrick's job, or do you think someone like Ika Gundogan, who obviously we're rumoured to have basically finalised, will have to take that Carrick role, or someone else? What's your opinion?
I think, first of all, before I start, I think Joey made some fantastic points. I covered most of what he said in my actual match review as well in my channel. But for me, Michael Carrick's an unsung hero, and he definitely is a huge part in the squad, and I think he was the main reason why we really weren't holding it down against this Everton side. We looked spineless at the back. We lacked confidence, composure, and I think that's what Michael Carrick brings. I mean, Joey made some fantastic points about how Michael Carrick brings ages of experience, which is completely true. But Michael Carrick, the sheer fact of having Michael Carrick in this starting lineup, just holding down that back 4, right on top of that, and just linking that defensive end to the midfield area, it gives us that sense of confidence and gives us that extra little boost of composure that we need. And I'm sure if Michael Carrick lined up there, Paddy McNair would have made a little bit of a less reckless, a little bit of a less rash challenge, and et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, that's Obviously, that wasn't the case. Michael Carrick didn't start, and Paddy McNair played as such. So, but nevertheless, I think Michael Carrick would definitely bring that extra level of confidence, that extra level of support, and he really is a huge factor. As for Daley Blind, yeah, I think Joey, again, fantastic points. You can't just blame it all on Daley Blind. First of all, he's coming back from an injury, and it's his first season in the Premier League. He played in the Eredivisie. He's not going to play the same way as he played in the Eredivisie here in the Premier League, and he's got time to learn. Michael Carrick's been here for quite some time, so he can deputize for us there. And as for Ilkay Gundogan, I mean, we're going to have loads of games coming up, and I think with Champions League qualification secured, we're going to really challenge on all sorts of fronts. We got the League Cup, we also got the FA Cup. We're definitely going to be rotating the squad for a little bit. So Ilkay Gundogan, shouldn't have a problem with him signing up.
Yeah, definitely great points, and you answered all the questions. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, Pasha, we'll move over to you now. And yeah, do you agree with what everyone said? And do you think Blind can take the reins from Carrick when he gets more experience, like Joey and John have said? Or do you think, again, Gundogan will take that role, or just someone else?
I agree with all of them. One thing, what do you think he dropped Darren Fletcher and made Michael Carrick as his vice captain? Because he has an intelligent brain. He has a brain that Louis van Gaal interns. In a 4-3-3, who's the conductor of the team? Michael Carrick. He's the one that breaks up the shape. He breaks up the tackles. The shape that we play is because of Michael Carrick. He's influential. And he's not a vocal player, but he's just a leader without even talking. That's how Paul Scholes was. He was very quiet, but you could see that presence of his leadership on the team. Michael Carrick is one of the best players that a lot of rival fans don't rate, but we do, because he's done so much for this club. So much under Sir Alex Ferguson that went unappreciated. And the same with Rooney. Once Rooney retires, people would appreciate what he's done for this club. And same with Michael Carrick, is people are realizing how much a vital player this man is, right? I love Michael Carrick. You know why? Because he's such a humble player that he doesn't care about, of me trying to represent the team or not. He just plays the game as a real football player. He does. And the thing with Daley Blind is, did people forget who was the best player in the Dutch league last year? Who was it? Daley Blind. Daley Blind plays 3 positions. He's an influential player. This guy just came back from injury, taking a break. People all of a sudden always like to jump into conclusions. It takes time. This guy went from playing from Ajax to playing for Manchester United. You know how big of a change that is. It takes time. It takes time, and he's gonna be influential. And for Daley Blind, I love Daley, but for him to be Carrick's replacement, I could see it, of course. But once again, the thing I like about Gundogan is that he thinks as Louis van Gaal too. He could cover 3 positions too. As a holding midfielder, yeah, I've seen Gundogan for many, many years, and I hope if he does come back, he gets his 2012-13 season back form. But to slate Daley Blind, let me just hold up for a second. People slated Fellaini, they slated Ashley Young, they slated Antonio Valencia, they got eaten their words back. Same thing's gonna happen with Daley Blind. It's gonna same to whoever the hell they want to talk about. I've had enough of this bullshit that people keep slating our own players just because of one match. The guy just came from a fucking injury, right? And he's trying to dictate a game. It didn't work out for him, right? But he wasn't god awful, We had the game. We were 70% of the person, but when they had 10 people in the box, it's obviously very, very difficult. And I could experience, and I could talk from that, because that's what Carlos Queiroz is doing with Iran. And it's very, very hard to break teams like that. But I've seen people say LVG got tactically outclassed. If he got tactically outclassed, how does he have 70% ball? And we didn't create plays. That was the only problem. But he can't be on the pitch trying to create plays for us. We didn't make plays in the front. But do you expect him to, because of his tactics? Come on, let's think for a little bit before we speak. This man tactically outclassed. Brandon Rodgers, right? Pochettino, Manuel Pellegrini. So many of these top managers he's done throughout his years, and people still have the audacity and balls to criticize this man. People say he's too arrogant. If you want to be the Manchester United manager, you got to be arrogant. That's what Sir Alex Ferguson was. And this man is the right man for the job. Daley Blind was a fantastic signing, and people could doubt him as many times. They'll eat their words back, as I said about Fellaini, Antonio Valencia, and Ashley Young. It takes time. Everything takes time. You think Sir Alex Ferguson built an empire in one day? You think he built Rome in one day? It took him so long. People in his 3 years at United, people want him sacked. If he left for Tottenham, Tottenham would have been us now. Patience is time. Everything takes patience. Just give it time. Daley Blind will be one of the best players in the and he's been one of our fantastic signings this year. And credit to Louis Van Gaal. All our signings have been great. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, there's a lot in there, but yeah, I definitely agree with the main point you made about how some of our fans, literally after one bad performance, will turn against a player. It's happened so many times this season, and yeah, I totally agree. Daley Blind, coming back from an injury, he didn't have his best game, but he didn't do much wrong, albeit he did a lot of sideways passing. But again, that's, he'll gain experience, he'll be perfectly fine. And while Michael Carrick is still, available, 33, 34, whatever, we can use him until he retires, and I don't think that's a problem. I mean, look at Chelsea. They're using John Terry. He's 34, and yeah, they're doing fine. So anyway, we'll move on to another point, which this is painful for United fans, all right, but it's a big topic of discussion, and this is about De Gea, all right, because in this game, there was rumours before this. Louis van Gaal said there's a contract on the table, and there's rumours that, he's already began negotiations with Real Madrid. So what I want to know is, during this game, do you think his head was in Madrid, he's basically already confirmed, or do you think he will stay at Manchester United? So we'll start with you, Sati. What are your opinions on it? Do you think he'll go to Real Madrid next season, or do you think he'll still be at United?
I said when we were off there, I think, in that game he just didn't look focused, and it's heartbreaking to see, because in that part of the game where, he came for the ball, he hesitated, Smalling, McNair were all shouting at him saying, what are you doing? You should have came and collected the ball easily and comfortably. And it was just times you just think to yourself, well, what's wrong? Is it going to be, one of them times where he's going to sign the contract at the end of the season and go to Real Madrid? It's just heartbreaking to see, but I think he's made his mind up. He's probably thinking today which house he's going to buy in Madrid, because for me, he's all but gone. And it's heartbreaking to see, because I don't think there's many keepers that can really replace him. Obviously, you've got the top ones like Neuer and people like that, but I just don't think there are many people that can replace him. And to see him, leave United is heartbreaking. And people are saying, oh, we want to have Gareth Bale or Ronaldo in return. I'd rather keep David De Gea, because he's been such a crucial part of this season, and if it weren't for him, I don't think we'd be in top four, and that's just an honest fact, because thinking about it, the games that he saved us against Everton at home, Liverpool at home, them crucial games when we needed 3 points badly to get into the top four, he was the one that saved us. And it's been many times where we've been always thanking De Gea, and to see him leave, I wouldn't blame him, to be fair, because if at Madrid he's going to probably play it in the back front. There's going to be a back four in front of him, consisting of Carvalho, Ramos, Varane, Marcelo, and at United he's going to play with a back four of Jones, Smalling. Are they players that he really wants to be playing in front of? I don't think he does. And if they're the players that he wants to play in front of, like Ramos and people like that, then by all means, if he wants to leave, I don't want to see United have a player that doesn't want to stay at United and isn't fully committed to the club, because then there's no point playing in him. And today showed that, because he wasn't at his best. Yes, he made a quality save towards the end, which was Morales' shot. But if a player wants to leave, then by all means, I think we should just let him leave. But if we are going to let him leave, I want him to see him sign a contract and get the value of money that we need, that he deserves. Because if we let him go now, I think we'll probably only get about 20-30 million max. That's probably pushing it against Madrid, because they'll probably say, we'll wait a year and we'll sign him on a free. But if we sign him down, and then we can request a fee that he's actually worth. But if we don't, it'll be a massive blow. And I want to see him stay, but I just think he's already gone to Madrid.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to agree with you. I do, a few weeks ago, I thought, we'll get UCL, De Gea will stay. But recently, I don't know, he just seems as though he's got his heart set back on the city that he was born at, which is kind of disappointing. But I definitely agree with that point about the money. At least sign a contract, all right? Even if he's going to go, it would be nice to see him sign the contract, not to stay. If he wants to go, he's going to go, right? But just to get the money, the value. We imagine seeing De Gea going for like 20 million or less than that. That would just be ridiculous, as we paid 24 million for him. But yeah, what do you think about this, Joey? Like, do you think he will sign a contract to get us money, or do you think he'll stay? Or what are your opinions on David De Gea?
My opinion is, if you don't want to be here, then fuck you. See ya. You know what I mean? Like, look, people are fucking going all in on David De Gea today. Look, there was only 2 things I saw that he did wrong, and one of them wasn't and both of them weren't coming for the ball. Granted, I stopped watching 10 minutes earlier because I had somewhere to be, but there's no way you keep either of the fucking first 2 goals out. So, maybe his head was in Spain today, maybe it wasn't. But you can't tell me if they offered, a Ronaldo or a Bale, a 30 or 40 goal scoring player to us, you have to take it. You know what I mean? We have to take one of their players. Fuck the money. We have plenty of that. We need to take their players. You add a 30 or 40 goal scoring player to this team, and we might win the league with Hugo Lloris in there. Hugo Lloris is leaving. He wants to play in the Champions League, something we can offer him. You know what I mean? If that's the case and Dave wants to leave and he's not going to sign the contract, you have to sell him this summer and you have to trade. You have to get one of their players. I'm sorry. You have to get Bale or Ronaldo. And I would have to, if Dave doesn't want to be here, fuck you. That's fine. We'll take one of their players and we'll go out and buy Hugo Lloris or another decent keeper. They're not going to be out of Dave's class. But if Dave doesn't want to be here, then, we threw money at him. You want to go to Spain and get booed by your own fans? Have at it. You're treated like a fucking god here, where the fans sing your name and they love you. You know what I mean? And we stuck by him when he was just fucking David De Gea, the skinny little prick who couldn't come out and for a cross and couldn't claim it and got thrown around in the box. We stuck by Dave. So if it would be upsetting to me if he left, yeah, of course I don't want to see him leave. But if he does leave, whatever. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
Yeah, forceful view there, but probably correct, to be perfectly honest. We did stick by him for 2 years, as you say, and it would be disappointing to see him leave, especially since Madrid fans seem to be even more fickle than Arsenal fans. As soon as a player has a bad performance, that's it. They're against them. Look at Gareth Bale. And to go on to a point, I'll ask you, John, about this, but I'm going to throw another spanner into the works, but you said about Bale, Ronaldo, 30, 40 goal a season player. What about Rafael Varane? Surely we need a centre-back a bit more than we need an attacker. What is your opinion on that, John? If he did go, who would you prefer? Would you prefer Bale? Would you prefer Varane? And, yeah, also, what do you think the situation with De Gea is? Do you think he's gone or not?
I don't know. I mean, everybody's been discussing this. This has probably been one of the most talked about issue in the whole season so far. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? But Louis van Gaal has confirmed the fact that we've offered him money and he still hasn't signed a contract. And that just basically sums up everything. He's waiting for something. We don't know what he's waiting for, but he's waiting for something. And honestly, if I was in De Gea's shoes and if we really offered him that much compassion, love as fans, and we really did stick by him. And if he's going to leave to Real Madrid, and I think as Joey said, if he's going to leave, then so be it. We got to maximize our profits off of him, make sure we get every single penny's worth, or whatever the currency is in everywhere else. But we got to get every penny's worth from David De Gea's transfer so that we can sign somebody of some sort of quality. Like in 2012, when we signed Robin van Persie, he single-handedly took the Premier League by storm. And if we can sign another goal-scoring machine like of Robin van Persie's quality in the past, we can definitely take this league on without an issue. And to address your question about Rafael Varane or Gareth Bale, I mean, they're both fantastic players. I think Varane provides this extra bit of quality in the back. Not only does he have that defensive mindset, he also provides the pace, the strength. But I don't know. If they're gonna entice me, I want the full package, and I'd rather take Bale, who's gonna cost a heck of a lot of money, and I'd rather take that from Real Madrid and look for defensive options elsewhere.
Yeah, fair enough. So you prefer the attacker than the defender, which again is fair enough. I suppose Bale or Varane, if De Gea did leave, both are world-class players. Varane's got potential. Bale is already world-class. So, yeah, I'm sure any United fan would take either or. So, finally, we'll move over to you, Pasha. Again, do you agree with everyone about De Gea? Do you think he's literally gone? Do you think we can get a decent replacement goalkeeper? And who do you think we should try and get in exchange? Varane, Bale, Ronaldo, who? Anyone else?
Well, there's a couple of things that I do want to say. Is that I love David De Gea, and he will always be one of my favorite players. But people don't realize that it's not his decision. Why? Look, who's his agent? George Mendes. Something that nobody touched on. The guy runs football, right? He knows exactly what he wants. He doesn't. People always talk about De Gea and stuff, but he's the final factor that will change this team. And you got to remember, the Falcao is another player too. So he's probably waiting to try to wrap these deal up The thing with David De Gea is that he saved us so many points this season, and I'll forever be grateful for what he's done for this club. I'll be gutted to see him leave, but once again, isn't that just how football is today? That all our best players usually get sold to Real Madrid. We've seen that ever since I watched United play. The reason why I started supporting United was because of David Beckham, and when I was so gutted that when he left, but he gave me so attached to the club. It's just how football is today. But the thing with the player that I do want to see, I don't know if you guys ever watch him, is Leno of Bayern Leverkusen, I believe, the goalkeeper. That is one of the top goalkeepers I've ever seen lately, and I'm just people could go watch him on YouTube. Don't rate him off of YouTube. I'll watch him numerous of times, and he's fantastic. I mean, Hugo Lloris, of course, why not? And he'll be a realistic, easy signing too, to be honest. But it's just people talk about David De Gea's head being in Spain. Maybe today he was off, but if his head was, Spain, it could have been a while back. He could have not been interested at all, But he still fought for this team. He shows his passion, I don't believe in all that, mediocrity. Oh, his head is in Spain. If his head was in Spain, it would have been months away ago. He wouldn't care, right? But he wants to give something back to this club because we gave him something. People need to realize it's not always about what they or what the player thinks. It always comes down to the, agent. And his agent is Mendes. He's a big guy in football. And the words don't describe what he does, And to bring a player, I think they just recently signed Danilo and a player that I've watched, and even I rate highly is Carvajal, right back, and we need a right back. So he's the player of Rafael Varane, but out of the attackers, least likely. But no, we have the money. We don't need money. I mean, for the deficit, I could understand that, but we need a player in exchange with some bit of money. And that probably, for me, will be Varane and Carvajal. But once again, I'll be grateful for David De Gea, top class goalkeeper, but it was meant to be Iker Casillas is he's going to be a successor of Iker Casillas. So it was meant to be. It's a story, It was just meant to be. And I wish him the best. And for anybody that wants to slate him, if that's the case, then why did nobody slate our whole Trinity 3 top players when they wanted to leave, So once again, I wish him the best. And people need to stop slagging any of our players. But good times are coming back. And it'll be tough replacing, but there'll be keepers in the market that we could try and go get. But I wish him the best if he does leave. But I'll never be mad at him or anything because I could see exactly why he could leave. And once again, we can't always be, dependent on one single player. But I just can't thank him enough because he's done a lot for this club, and people need to be appreciative of that. And not to mention, when we played against Everton at Old Trafford, we could have easily dropped points, but because of his phenomenal saves, he didn't. Especially that Paddy McNair with the clearance, phenomenal. But I love David De Gea, and I'm grateful to him.
Yeah, definitely. Same. I'm so grateful, especially for the last 2 years. I mean, last season he was a standout performer as well. So if he does want to leave, then yeah, I'll support his decision, etc. And we have to move on. As you've said, other players have left: David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, and we still went on. So he's not irreplaceable. It'll be difficult to get a replacement, but Hugo Lloris, Leno, all of these players, we can get, if we want to get them financially, we can, as long as the players want to come. And if we've got UCL, why the hell would they not want to, with a world-class manager like Louis van Gaal at the helm as well? So we'll come back onto the game. Now we've covered De Gea. So basically, there's been a lot of weird results this week, to be perfectly honest. We could have extended our lead over Liverpool, who are fifth, who now have a game in hand. So I'm going to ask another question that's, a lot of, it divides a lot of fans, so it'll be interesting to see your opinions on it. It's basically, do you think that Champions League football is still secure? Do you think we've got that in the bag, or do you think it's not quite done yet? So, yeah, Sati, what are your opinions on that? Again, do you think that Liverpool will pose a threat, or do you think it's basically done and we have top 4 secure?
It's one of them questions which you don't know till the last day. And at the moment, I'm going to say no. I don't think we've got Champions League secure, because if Liverpool win their game in hand, they're 4 points behind us. And yeah, we shouldn't mess it up. But it's football. Strange things have happened. This modern day that we live in, football is crazy. Thinking about it, when we lost the league to City on goal difference, who would have thought that when they were losing 2-1? Football's a mad sport, and it's just the fact that anything can happen. And I just hope that we secure it. And looking at the fixtures that we got West Brom home. We got Hull away in the last game of the season. We got Arsenal home, and we also got Crystal Palace away. Them kind of games, I think we'll probably win 3 of them, and maybe Palace may be a tricky one to go to. But I think the rest of them will win. But it's just the pressure. Can the players actually go there? And a lot of players have won Premier League titles, so I presume that they can. But at the moment, I don't think we've got it wrapped up because the form, just these last couple of games that we've gone into, Chelsea and this Everton defeat, could take a bit of a confidence knock, because thinking about it, losing 3-0 is a big result, and the third goal may have done us injustice. But to be fair, I just thought maybe if we don't get top 4, Luke Van Gaal will still be in charge regardless. That's no question in doubt. But it's just a matter of when, not if. I think Champions League will come, but it's just a matter of when will it come, because these games aren't the trickiest. Yes, they're away from home against Crystal Palace and Hull, 2 teams that are fighting for lives, especially for Hull. But for Arsenal, I think we'll be able to beat them. We have a genuinely good record. But Champions League, it's going to be hard. It will go down to probably the last couple of games. I don't think it's wrapped up at the moment because you could even say Liverpool and maybe Spurs. Maybe you don't know in football. It's a crazy sport, and no matter who does it, it'll be hard. I can't call it at the moment. Yes, we're 4 points clear if Liverpool win that game, but it's going to be hard. It genuinely is. You just can't call it. And the fact that a couple of months ago people were writing us off for top 4 is a great position that we're in now. We were talking about 4th, and we were talking about 2nd, and even winning the league at one point in the last couple of games. And it's just a mad sport that we can go from such a low position to such a high and back to a low. It's a mad sport, but I think we will get Champions League. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, so you're obviously being very cautious, and I suppose when it's mathematically proven, that'll be when most fans are secure in their beliefs whether we'll get Champions League, because obviously then it'll have been confirmed. So yeah, we'll move over to you, Joey. Do you agree? Do you think it's not over? Do you think Liverpool can overtake us, even though they've still got to play teams like Chelsea? I think they've got Hull away, they've got Palace away, the same as us. So yeah, do you think it's over now, or do you think Liverpool pose a threat?
Liverpool have a chance. It's not a big chance. They have a small chance. They still got to play Chelsea. Don't really see them winning that game. But they couldn't even score against West Brom. So we got West Brom up next at home. It's got to be 3 points. It's in our hands, and I think that's all I can ask for, and all any fan can ask for. At this time last year, how fucking depressing was everything. You know what I mean? It's ready to fucking shoot myself if I had to hear a fucking other Liverpool fan say we're going to win the league. How'd that turn out? But yeah, man, it's in our hands. It's not done yet. It's in sight. You know what I mean? Like, we got it in sight. Just have to fucking get to work. Another thing is, when's Michael Carrick coming back? Because we really could use him these last few games. So I don't know how many more weeks he's out. But if Michael Carrick comes back and he's ready to go against West Brom, it's probably in the bag, but I'm not going to jinx it. So it's within distance. Not completely done yet. Like I said, Liverpool still have a slight chance, but I'm more optimistic than I am pessimistic. I think we'll get it. But at the same time, I think that we should be trying to beat Arsenal at home, and I think we should be trying to aim for as high up the table as we can get. I'm not happy with 4th. I think that we should aim a little higher.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. I think it is frustrating that it's in reach. It seems to get further and further away as we get closer. I mean, this game, if we'd have won this, I would have said yes, dead and buried. But now we haven't. There's a very slight chance, as you say, Liverpool will take it. But again, the distance between 2nd and 4th is so narrow that we should be aiming for 2nd. None of this 4th BS. If we're going to get Champions League, we need to go for 2nd or 3rd so we can avoid the lottery of the qualification for the UCL. So yeah, John, do you agree with that? Do you think Liverpool still have a slight chance? Are you worried at all, or do you think it's in the bag?
I'm not so much worried, but I do definitely agree with Sati and Joey. And we really, it's gonna come down to the last day. It's gonna come down to until every match is done, and we really need to. It's in our hands, and we need to make sure we just go to each game at a time, and make sure we take 3 points, because nothing is secure in football until the last day. Until the fat lady sings, nothing is secure. We need to make sure we secure every game, every 3 points, and I think more so now than ever. Champions League qualification, yeah, I feel like most likely we've taken over that goal, and I think we can definitely secure that. I don't see Liverpool coming up anymore, but I think we definitely, as Joey said, we need to take Arsenal. I really, really can't see us sitting fourth. I would hate to see that. Yes, I know I'm asking for a lot. You know, our initial goal at the start of the season was so that we take Champions League qualification as our top priority. But right now is now, and we're there. And we need to take Arsenal. We need to get up and climb up this ladder so that we can end this season on a high. And as you just said, no, we need to make sure that we don't get stuck in that Champions League qualification nonsense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you just said about the Champions League qualification, that is a horrendous thing, and anything can happen in that. Even though you're usually playing lesser teams, well, what you would call lesser teams from lesser divisions, it's still a horrible match because it interferes with pre-season, etc. And yeah, that's something we definitely want to avoid. But in order for us to do that, we need to overtake Manchester City, or we need to overtake Arsenal, who've just drew. Manchester City have been really lucky recently. I mean, their performance against Villa, that was just ridiculous. In West Ham, that ridiculous own goal, you know, Guzan giving them the ball. It just seems as though, you know, it looks on City's side. But anyway, we'll go back quickly to this top four. Pasha, do you agree that you're 90% confident? I think that's basically what everyone's saying here.
Let me just say this: our biggest threat isn't Liverpool. Our biggest threat is ourselves. Simple as that. It's in our hands, and we could mess it up for ourselves, right? When we were 8 points clear of City, and we blew up the title based on goal difference. It's in our hands, you know. But it's football. Things could be changed. We might be 1-0 up against West Brom. They could score an equalizer in the 90th minute. Who knows? It's football. That's why we watch the game. It's a beautiful game. You never know what's going to happen next. And this is Barclays EPL. Everybody shows up against United. But, yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, confidence is back. I mean, it's very, very least possible for Liverpool to get top four. However, the thing that people don't realize is that if we get fourth place, we're not technically in the Champions League. We still got to play a qualifier match, etc., and then get into, you know, group stage matches and stuff like that. People need to keep that in mind, too. Huge factor. We need to get top four, especially with the Adidas deal. Many things we do with the deficit that the Glazers have leeching money out of this club that we need to get back. For me, top four is it's not secure, but it's in our hands. And the biggest threat isn't Liverpool, but ourselves. Simple as that. We could blow it up for ourselves as we've done when we lost this title to the noisy neighbors. But yeah, that's just my point.
Yeah, certainly. Again, yeah, that's actually a really good point. That it is up to us. Like we are the team that are 7 points ahead, albeit Liverpool have a game in hand. So yeah, it is down to us. And in our last 4 games, this leads into another good point. Basically, since we now have lost 2 in a row, which is the first time I believe Louis van Gaal has done this in the league. He's lost against Chelsea and Everton, albeit Chelsea game was probably not deserved to be a loss, but it was, so, you know, there's no point in crying over spilt milk. So, yeah, do you think that's going to have, like, a slight mental block in the players? Like, for instance, Chelsea, for instance, have been playing really well, or they did, come the point when they were, like, 8-10 points ahead of everyone else, and then they just seem to be crawling over the line to win the title. Do you think that's going to happen with us, with UCL? Sai, do you think that literally happen? Like, we'll crawl over the line, it'll be a mental block because of these losses, or do you think, you know, it's just something that is irrelevant, the 2 losses?
I think it's going to be a bit of a blow, but we're not Liverpool. We won't blow it like they did. You know, they'll probably slip over something. We're not like that. We'll probably get top 4, but it's just a matter of when, not if. You know, it's going to be a confidence boost, knock without a doubt, because whenever you lose, you know, you always get that feeling of, oh, you know, next time you're on the pitch, you want to try and impress. And, you know, players may go and try and do over-impress. You know, they might go and try and do something which may, you know, sort of fancy flick or something, and it may not come off, and it might lead into the opposition of scoring. But I just hope that we just maintain this confidence like we have doing against Liverpool, Tottenham and Man City. I just hope that continues. You know, ignore these last 2 games, because in both of the games we played very well. Possession-wise, we've dominated. I just thought the final third was just, that's the disappointing factor for me. I just thought we haven't been able to penetrate teams enough. I just thought the play was a bit too slow. It was a bit as if we were standing still with the ball, making sure runs were coming off and on, but nothing was, you know, no pass was being played forward to them runners. So I just thought that was a bit lacking. Some of the players were pretty, you know, standard today, and I think many people impressed. But the confidence, I think it can take a knock, but it's just a matter of Louis van Gaal probably will be able to, you know, rally the troops up a bit, because, you know, he's a manager that has got a proven track record, and, you know, he can motivate anyone. he's a manager that's won it all. He can say to them, if you want to win the league next season, you best go and get top 4, and then you can build on that. I just think hopefully it doesn't take a knock. I don't think it will, but it might take a little bit of a knock. But I think we'll probably get top 4 definitely. But yeah, like Joey said, I want to try and get 3rd, because that 4th place is still, you have to go through a qualifying round. I just hope that we do get 3rd, because we don't have to play the extra game. It does mess up your pre-season as well. So hopefully, I don't think it will take that much of a knock, but it can be a bit of a knock. But hopefully we do get top 4.
Yeah, so you think it's going to be a little bit of a niggle in the back of the player's mind to these 2 losses. But again, yeah, I think UCL qualification again, like that, going back to that, it should be 90% done. It's just one of those irritating things where it's not quite there. But yeah, we'll come to you, Joey, now. So yeah, do you think these 2 results in particular will affect the players going into the final 4 games? Because in the press conference, just before in the training, Lou Van Gaal and Giggs said that they thought the players just didn't look up for it. Even in the training, they thought something was wrong and they tried to adjust that. So yeah, do you think that's going to play a part in the last 4 games?
No, not really. I think that, I think they should move on from it. They're professionals. This is what they get paid to do. Yes, losing like that hurts, but it could be almost a good thing, because, like I was saying earlier, West Brom are going to come to Old Trafford and do the same exact thing. So they'll know that they need to do something a little bit different. Obviously West Brom don't possess the quality. Let's also talk about today's game. Like, take nothing away from Everton. James McCarthy was fantastic today. Gareth Barry did an okay job on Fellaini. But I think, the last 2 weeks, people have gotten on Fellaini and they've said, "Oh, I've been telling you all along, this and that." Look, the first week against Chelsea, 2 weeks ago, Zuma's man marking him. Fellaini drifted out wide and brought Zuma with him. That opened up a huge gap in the middle. It's not Fellaini's fault that no one else took advantage of that. Like, if you watch that game and watch it back and you can talk tactics, fucking Fellaini brings Zuma out wide. No one takes advantage of the space. If Herrera, or like we were saying about Carrick, if Carrick's there and Herrera gets to play in his role further up the pitch, him and Matza are all over that space. They're fucking up in there. I think that there will be some changes going into this game. Look, people are going to want to say take Young off for Di Maria. Di Maria needs to play centrally. If you're going to take anyone off, you can take Fellaini off, and you can put Di Maria there. Because Di Maria, his best season, his Man of the Match Champions League season, last year, it's not that fucking far in the past, was played in a midfield 3 centrally. When he is central, he has more ground in front of him to cover. He has more ground to run into. He has more areas to pass the ball. He is one of our, if not our most creative player. You need to put him on the ball. There will be changes. Louis Van Gaal, that's the thing I love about Louis Van Gaal, though. With David Moyes, people were like, "Oh, man, fucking 4-4-2. Change it, man. Change it." And then earlier, they're crying for 4-4-2. Louis Van Gaal will change it. He's changed fucking 3 different formations in one game, in one half. So there will be changes. He's not just going to sit on his thumbs and not do anything about it. The players, they'll get a kick up their ass this week. Maybe Louis Van Gaal pulls balls out again. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that they should, they need to move on from this. Rooney will give another speech. They'll play West Brom at home. They'll win 3-0, and then we'll all be saying, well, maybe Daley Blind can replace Carrick. It's people fucking overreact. I don't know. It's just the English mentality. I've seen it. The last few years, like every fucking thing, they just overreact and blow it way out of proportion. You can say with results, with performances. When one English player does well, oh, look out, he's gonna be the next fucking Gary Lineker. He's gonna be the next this or the next that. Why can't he just be him? Like, people need to relax. Going into these last few games, there will be changes made. The players will get over it. Louis Van Gaal will give him a kick in the ass, show his balls, and we'll move on, and we'll go into the summer, and there'll be fresh faces in training. Because you have to look at it also. There isn't that much competition for places. We're kind of limited with the squad here. Too much overturn, Louis Van Gaal couldn't do it all in one transfer window. Wait till we get world-class players in every position with world-class backups, and then you see players have to fight for their spot, and then you see a whole different team, a whole different mentality, because they'll be worried about getting dropped.
Yeah, big points raised again with that. Like especially with the drop players. Yeah, obviously competition seems to do wonders. Look at Young and Fellaini this season. Even when there hasn't been much competition, they fought for their spot and they kept it. But yeah, I definitely agree with what you said about the English media. Like they blow everything out of proportion. I guarantee I'll read in the newspaper that United are now on a downfall. All of this. Oh, Liverpool are going to get Champions League. All of this. It'll just happen because that's what the English media do. They like to get views, etc. So yeah, we'll come to you now, John. Do you think these two results will have an effect on the players going into the final four games, or do you just think it's something that's done?
No, I don't think it'll have that much of an effect, honestly. I think Sati said in the beginning of this review, I think it was just one of those days, and I think we'll have to go back into the dressing room, reevaluate the situation, what went wrong, what went right, because that's what Louis Van Gaal's good at, takes the situation, assesses it piece by piece, and I'm sure we'll be able to figure this out. Chris Smalling came out and he said it'll be a different United team next week, not in terms of the actual squad players. He was saying that it'll be a different mentality, and I think that's exactly what we're looking for, a different mentality going into the final few games at the end of the season. And that's it. There's nothing really much to say. I think, yeah, that really is nothing much to say. I think Louis Van Gaal really is gonna either have two options. He's gonna either keep the same squad for the past few games that he's been playing out and try to continue and give him that run of form and give him that chance, or he's gonna really just shuffle things around, bring in Di Maria, bring in Januzaj, bring in Robin van Persie. Who knows? He can either shuffle it or keep it. But for me, I think he should just stick with the squad he currently has, push on with it, and then assess the situation later on, because right now we're not at a stage where we can honestly, throw away games or throw away these opportunities. We should just keep it with what we got, push forward, and then assess the situation at the end of the season, sign new people, etc., etc.
All right, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with what you've just said there, definitely. And yeah, sorry about if you could hear snoring before. Yeah, my cat's kind of loud, and yeah, that's nothing I can do about that. But anyway, we'll come to you now, Pasha, and yeah, again, we'll try and wrap up this little topic now. Do you think the confidence issue of losing 2 games in a row will affect the players or not?
Do you know who the manager is? Do you think David Moyes in charge that he lets him go by? Or is that even a proper question? He'll batter them to pieces. He'll show his balls. He'll get the hair dryer and make them show who's the boss. It's not. That's just not even a question of the company. Those players are playing for the badge. These players are playing for the badge. I repeat, these players are playing for the badge. When's the last time you saw that on Sarah and Sarah Alex, right? It's just that's Louis Van Gaal for you. It's not even a question. These players will fear. Like there's fear. Even these players always say that they get intimidated by Louis Van Gaal. All his players used to say that because he has a personal thing to him. And then when he's a coach, he coaches you, right? Which a lot of professional players don't like that in his philosophy because he is a coach. So of course, these players are going to be playing. So you got to be arrogant to be, as I said before, Manchester United manager. So to get his confidence back, he'll get the confidence back of these players in no time. And the players have bought into his philosophy, which is the greatest thing possible for our club. But to doubt Louis Van Gaal, to say our players won't be playing confidence, is a shame. Same shit I heard when we lost 5-3 against Leicester. Same thing when we lost against Swansea and people doubted Louis Van Gaal. If you can't support us when we win, don't support us when we lose.
Yeah, taking
I've had enough of I've had enough of this nonsense because fans are so fickle these days. They don't understand the game anymore. As soon as we lose, oh God, top 4 is gone. Top 4 is gone. Yeah, same thing. When March came around, we beat Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City. We didn't just beat them. We battered them. Juan Mata should have been arrested at Anfield because that's rape. That's rape.
It's actually uploaded to Pornhub.
So,
I heard that.
With Louis Van Gaal, we're back. That's all I'm just gonna say is that we're back. Manchester United is back. It just takes time. He was brought into this club to build this team, as he did for Bayern, as he did for Barcelona, right? The managers as Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. Who do you think the reason why they're made one of the reasons was Louis Van Gaal? The guy was born to be a manager, right? He's a fantastic manager. You doubted him because you don't know anything about him. Don't just rate him off a company. It takes time. Same thing with Sir Alex Ferguson. Oh, he should be sacked in 3 years. Look what he became. He's a top class manager, and we gotta appreciate him. He was a blessing in disguise, you know. And these players are playing for the badge, and there's no questions about it. As soon as God knows what he did in the dressing room, might have shown his balls again like he did in Bayern, but that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. That let them know who's in charge. David Moyes wasn't like that because David Moyes was too soft. If you want to be a United manager, you got to be arrogant. You got to be hard-headed. Because these players need to know who they're playing for. This is Manchester United. This is not fucking Man City. This is not Liverpool. You know? But he's back. We're back, and that's all I'm just going to say. And I've had enough of this nonsense about Louis van Gaal. If you don't know about Louis van Gaal, then please shut up. Because I've watched Louis van Gaal for a long, long time when he was at Bayern too, and the man is amazing. Have people forgotten what he did at Old Trafford to us when we qualified? The man is a tactical genius, and he'll get us right. And we're going to play with a 4-3-3 next year and see what he's going to do. He didn't have enough time. People need to realize when the World Cup ended, he didn't have enough time to access his players. Now he does. Now he knows what to. Look at Fellaini. Look at Fellaini, Ashley Young dropping the likes of Di Maria and Falcao. If he ever told me that, I would say either you're on crystal meth or you're on something bigger, better than that. You know? I'm happy that he's a manager. And as Sir Alex Ferguson did, that's what Louis van Gaal is doing. He makes average players look world class. That's fantastic for you. Sir Alex Ferguson fooled us with a lot of the players that we thought were good. Tom Cleverley is an example, right? It takes time, and I'm so grateful that he's a manager. People need to be appreciative of this club and stop saying all these fickle, glory hunting crap. I've had enough of that. I'm just gonna keep repeating that of myself. I'm sorry to say that, but I've had enough of that nonsense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it took your time there, but yeah, I definitely agree that we definitely need an arrogant manager at the helm, and Louis van Gaal seems to be that person. He makes average players look world class, as Sir Alex Ferguson did, as he said with Cleverley. Young's now showing his form, so's Fellaini, etc. And yeah, we're going to quickly do this, alright, because we are running out of time. But I do want to ask you what you think your squad will be to face West Brom, what Man United will line up with, and also what your score prediction will be. So we'll start with you, Sati. What do you think the score is going to be and the team selected?
It really depends on whether Carrick will be fit or not, because I think if Carrick plays, then there'll be a lot of alterations around him if he does start, because Carrick is a main part of our team and he's an integral part of our team, and without him, it showed how bad we were today. But also, I think the starting lineup will be this: David De Gea in goal, no doubt about it. I'll probably go with Luke Shaw left back, Smalling, and I think McNair will probably get the nod ahead of Rojo and Jones, because they are just coming back from injury and they need a bit of match fitness, because Louis van Gaal likes in his fitness regime where he keeps them in under 21s for about 5 weeks. Probably right back Valencia. I'll probably say the CDM. I'd probably go with, if Carrick's fit, it would obviously be him, but I don't think he will be ready for that. So I'm going to go with Daily Blind there. Yes, he had a very an average game, but he's just come back from match fitness, so cut the guy some slack. Centre mids, I'd probably go with Herrera and Fellaini, because I think them two, they work well. Yes, Fellaini had an off game, but he's a physical presence and he's probably the tallest player that we have, and I think we need a bit of that against West Brom. Yes, they aren't the most physical team, but it offers something different. When we can't play the ball on the floor, we can go long to Fellaini if that may be needed. So on the wings, I'd probably go with Di Maria on the left, because I think Ashley Young, yeah, he has been playing very well, but the defensive wise, he's very good at that. I just want to see more attacking flair, because I thought today the wings were very good, but I just think Di Maria could offer something else different today. I thought that could have been key for us getting the 3 points. And up front, we'll probably go Wayne Rooney. He's had an off game, but it's Wayne Rooney who'll come back stronger than ever, and he's a captain, so he'll obviously be relishing the whole squad to come back and get 3 points. And on the right hand side, I'll probably go with Juan Mata, because he did have an off game. He just go missing in a few kind of away games, but that's fair enough. It's Juan Mata, he deserves a starting place, and yeah, I'll probably go with that starting 11. And the score prediction, it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be a comfortable victory in the end. Hopefully, it will be. I'm gonna go with a 3-0 victory. Goals for Wayne Rooney and Herrera, and I'm gonna say Angel Di Maria to get his confidence back.
Fair enough. So yeah, we'll try and keep this as quick as possible. So yeah, Joey, do you agree with his lineup and his predictions?
Who's fit? Do I get Carrick or Jones, or can I get? I mean, it's way too early to tell. But if I get, I'll take one center back. I'll take De Gea, Shaw, Jones, Smalling, Valencia. I don't think Carrick's gonna be fit, so Blind's gonna play there. Fellaini's not going to play because I don't need a tall physical presence to break down two banks of four. I need creativity in the center and pace. I'm putting Di Maria in the center with Herrera, Mata out on the right, Young on the left, Rooney up top. I'm not a Fellaini hater at all, and I think he brings a great element to our team. I just don't think we need it against West Brom, who are going to sit behind the ball.
Yeah, fair enough. So we'll move
2-0. A Rooney penalty and a Herrera goal.
Rooney penalty and a Herrera goal. I think we've only had 3 or 4 penalties this season, so yeah, that would be something. But anyway, we'll move to you, John, your team and predictions.
Yeah, I'm going to make it quick for you. DDG in net with Shaw, Paddy McNair, Smalling, Valencia at the back. I'm going to go with the same midfield, Blind, Fellaini, Herrera, Waza up top with Mata on the right. And instead of Young, I will bring in Angel Di Maria because, I'd rather him come on now and get some sort of match fitness before the Arsenal game because quality makes a huge difference, and I think Angel Di Maria can provide us that quality against Arsenal. I'm going for a 3-1 victory, probably a brace from Herrera and a goal from Mata.
Do you think Barino will score on the break or something for West Brom?
Yeah, I just don't think it'll be a 0. I don't think that'll happen. I think we'll get hit in the counter.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, finally, Pasha, your team prediction and
before I even talk about my lineups, I just want to say I'm glad to see Darren Fletcher coming back to Old Trafford. What a player he was, and I just can't wait to see him. And I appreciate what he's done, especially coming back from that disease. My lineup, is basically what John was saying. If Carrick is available, I'll go with Carrick, but I do want to see Angel Di Maria. I'm actually surprised Tati talked about Valencia because I know for sure he doesn't rate the guy. Because we don't even have any other proper right backs for him. But no, we're in good hands. I am looking forward to it as always. But once again, people need to relax. We're in good hands. It's up to ourselves. We could lose the top 4. It's not Liverpool. It's gonna be us, and it's in our hands. And we just gotta, we just can't bottle it. But I'm looking forward to it, and as always, I'm great to see Darren Fletcher. And if he scores, I hope we don't go on the pitch, but if we do, why not? So I'm happy and just united. So just next week we just gotta wait, see how it goes.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point about Darren Fletcher as well. I think that'll be more for the preview show. We'll talk about Darren Fletcher a lot more because obviously he's a legend for Manchester United. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to have to wrap things up. So yeah, where can people find you on social media? We'll start off with Sati.
On the Twitter is my UnitedMan_MUN. You've also got a YouTube channel. Just come back to you, Pasha. Yeah, I don't think Valencia is good enough for Manchester United, and that's the reason I said it because for me, I just don't see him as a Man United right back. And if you want to see him as a Man United right back,
I didn't say
next season,
right back.
I'm saying he isn't. I'm saying he isn't good enough, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, I know he's not good enough as a right back, but you slating him saying he's a League One player, you got to keep in mind that's
he wasn't good enough against.
Well, if he's not a natural, all right, let me tell you this: against Tottenham, against Liverpool, Man City, who was bad?
If you don't give no player criticism, how are they going to know that the player is bad?
Say he's a League One player, for you to come and say he's a League One player, I mean, we all know he sucks. We all know he's not a right back. But after Rafa, who else is going to be our right back? Nobody else, right?
I'm not saying if he wants to replace him. I'm just saying he's getting criticism.
But for you to come and say he's a League One player is an absolute disgrace for doing this guy with a couple of seasons ago, one of our best players. Absolutely shameful, man. Absolutely shameful.
How's that absolutely shameful?
Because of what the performances he's done against Tottenham, Liverpool, home and away, Man City. That's disgraceful for you to come on. You're slating him after one match. You're saying him after one match.
If no player gets criticism, they won't know that they've done bad, and they'll just carry on the way they've done.
Yeah, but he's done in and out. Not for you to come and slate the guy saying he's a League One player.
That's my opinion.
All right, so you can find me at Joey Tabor on Twitter. He'll put the link in the bio. So thank you for watching. I hand it back to Melvin.
Yeah, cheers, Joey. Yeah, lads, you can continue this debate on Twitter, all right? But unfortunately, we don't have time. John, where can people find you on Twitter?
Thank you, Melvin. Well, you guys can find me on Global Reds TV. I also run a YouTube channel as well with a couple of guys from MEFC Latest News. Thank you for having me on, as always.
Yeah, no problem. And finally, Pasha?
I am at PASA021, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So, do you want to do the United thing at the end? Pasha, Joey, anyone?
I've already did it last week, so I'll give it to John. John hasn't done it. I haven't seen John, so...
All right, John. Yeah, come on, United. Basically, just say it as loud as you can.
Come on, United!
That is quality, and we're going to end it off right there.